we will be talking about clothing from the past, which is long ago, and clothing from the present, which is today. When we're talking about clothing from the past, we'll talk about 300 years ago, 200 years ago, and less than 100 years ago. Let's start with 300 years ago. We can notice that boys and men wore hats and they wore long jackets. We can see that long jacket back here. Women and girls wore their hair up and they wore long dresses. Let's take a look at 200 years ago. Boys still wore hats, but they do look different. They're like a wide-brimmed hat. And they're wearing overalls and a button-down shirt. Girls still wore dresses, usually long sleeve dresses. They wore bonnets, which is what's on their head, that white bonnet. And they typically had aprons on because they were usually doing chores around on the farm. Less than 100 years ago, for boys, they didn't always have to wear hats anymore. They could still wear hats, but we can see that they didn't have to wear hats here. The colors of their clothing were pretty neutral, meaning browns, nothing too bright in color. And it was pretty typical for boys to be wearing sweaters. Girls were still wearing dresses. It was very common for girls to be wearing pink at this time, and for girls to have bows in their hair. If we compare that to what we have today, here we can see for boys, they could wear pants or shorts. It looks like they're wearing tennis shoes, which in the past it was like mostly the boys were wearing boots. And they can wear t-shirts. Now we can also wear long sleeve shirts too. Girls, on the other hand, can still wear dresses or skirts today, but they can also wear pants. Girls still like to have bows in their hair, and they can also wear t-shirts. From looking at 300 years ago to 200 years ago to less than 100 years ago to today, we can see how clothing has changed over time.